Hi guys, good morning. Welcome to Jasiri. I wish I could sing like I sang into the show yesterday. That was a fun moment. But today, I know if it's mouth they heavy me. The things that we have lined up for you on today's Hot Topic special, not be only me go feature, but we have a very interesting guest for you on our Hot Topic special on Jasiri this morning. So you just have to wait and find out. In the meantime, my girls are looking banging. Let me first, so my opposite me, I want to introduce you to a lady of timber and caliber, erudite, phenomenal, very, wait now, don't rain on my parade, man, let me introduce. Very splucious, mommy of Obokorede, a woman of a broadcaster of international repute. Go the krinkum krankum. Please, ladies and gentlemen, have you seen Tolulope Adele Rubalogo? She is looking so scruffy. A round of applause for her. Yeah.
I love sure she had that late entrance so that everybody can be like,
I'm always late. It's not my fault. But you know, as we're doing this thing, I had an event yesterday. When they read my CV, sometimes when they do, I'm like,
yourself, is that me?
Is it me they're talking about? Am I the one? It's good. Thank you very much.
It is
my
good.
ladies, let me give you the royal way.
Royal
Thank you so much.
I was going to introduce Lola and say she's looking like a melange of butter and caramel. I love the color on her. When I saw her today, I was like, oh, look, this is so sweet.
Thank you, and you fans me. let me steal from the Gen Z. I actually feel as if I'm channeling my big sister this morning. You know when you have clothes in your wardrobe that you never wear, and now I find out that wearing Nigeria is like, it just sets you apart. You're unique everywhere you go. So I pulled out this top from my beautiful wardrobe.
Akwa.
Yes,
I'm glad she didn't hear what I said.
No, she didn't. And I want to introduce
let me just catch my
so my middle left, my right star is somebody who is going on leave.
Oh my God!
I have to say, because this one, she came into the studio this morning and asked us, Lola, what did she say? How are you feeling?
How are you feeling? This small
Blessings has never asked us how are you feeling.
Are you excited?
So in her mind, for her mind now, she did say where she go.
I did tell you, no, leave her.
My dear, other thing sit on this chair.
I will put a recorder somewhere here because I know that Lola will cry. And then you were saying that you like wearing Nigerian, blah blah. I said, let's because your suits are finished.
Which suits? Which suits? I do have
the suits and gowns that she has.
No, of course I have quite a lot of it. But
no, this African designer thing she said.
And this is just
this is Nigerian.
Yeah.
If I don't wear Nigeria, who will? Is it you?
Wow.
Please.
Lola, can we move on?
Yes. My fellow Nigerians. This one is serious. So, listen very carefully. Because this one concerns Nigerians that are in the abroad. Ladies and gentlemen, this is no jokes apart.
It's not.
Imagine that somebody decides to give you $34,000 to come back to Nigeria. This is something you need to think about. Well, this one is one that is very hot off the presses. Just hours ago, news broke that the Swedish government has unveiled plans to offer substantial financial incentives to immigrants who return to their home countries voluntarily. Without any pushing, shoving, just go by yourself. Here are some of the details. They said, effective in 2026, the new policy will provide up to 350,000 Swedish kronor, about $34,000 per person. A significant increase from the current grant of 10,000 kronor per adult and 5,000 kronor per child. Interestingly, this grant has been available since 1984. But it seems that it's been unknown relatively and it's been underutilized.
So for me, all that Lola has been doing is speaking English. I went to go and do the math.
You know,
you're doing the math. I did the math. $24,000 using 1/6 to 1.
Why even use
1,600 naira to $1, please, my ladies. 54.4.
Yes, I even went.
So that's the thing. This conversation is about counting the cost. Is it worth it? Because we've talked about the fact that have all the money you want. It cannot protect you when Nigeria wants to Nigeria. When Nigeria wants to happen to you,
there are people in Nigeria.
54.4 million protect you and your family.
In Nigeria that are thriving.
That's what I asked. I said 54 million. You can't buy a house complete.
But sorry, so this thing now is effective in 2026. So I have
the
24
new rates.
months.
They have old rates still going on.
Okay, so I have 24 months. Where's Waka Waka doctor? If I relocate there now, they would offer me that opportunity so that I can just voluntarily come back. I've done the math. Because I will collect that money.
So that's your man.
I'll come back to Nigeria.
Yes. Do you know maybe
From Sweden.
Forget there are people that as long as you have dual citizenship or passport, there are people that feel
they are kicking you out as you are exiting with the money. You are ex
No,
from
I'm
Sweden.
saying no. It's not just Sweden. You can get from another country. Now I'm saying that there are people who are confident, like the fact that they have they have the option of going to another country. For them, that's security enough. There are people that will tell you, oh, don't travel. Most of them is because they have money. Forget money does things. So
I tend to align myself with what
I'm telling you.
And she's a child. 54 million looks huge.
No, but
it's
truly,
huge. It's huge. I will not lie. Oh, huge.
Because you're single.
No, I would say
I can't even buy a house
with
with 54 million.
No, but you
Let's
don't
go
need to buy a house. You can build. And for me, I would say yes, I would, because you see, it's also a very intelligent way that the Swedish government is using to control the population. Because whether we like it or not, there are Nigerians everywhere. Nigerians in Venezuela, there are Nigerians in Puerto Rico, there are Nigerians in Finland, there are Nigerians even in Greenland. There are Nigerians.
It's not just Nigerian, Sha.
Greenland?
Yeah, but we're talking about now Nigeria because going back home.
Greenland
we're
is
talking
a
about
very
Nigeria,
unique
so.
space.
Yeah, I tell you.
I won't be surprised if there are
Nigerians
Nigerians in Antarctica. Nigerians are everywhere.
Do you know how I knew? I don't know if you guys saw something that was trending a few weeks ago about children who are born to one foreign parent and one Nigerian parent. And they said that there is a Nigerian who is married to a woman from a tribe, like they still have a tribe, an ethnicity in Russia that's actually a protected ethnicity. And they're like, how did he get there? How did he get there?
Wallahi, he will get there. So for me, I'm like, okay, if you can take that money and come back home, because most times, living conditions, we're not really doing what you really want to do abroad. So if you come back home and you have that amount of money and say, okay, I have this amount of money to invest. First of all, build a house, buy land, build a house, start a business. And we are Nigerians, we love home. Yeah, we would like to travel, go, come. Why haven't
you don't even have to build a house at the start. Buy your land, keep it, invest that money in business.
Okay, so maybe where to stay, blessings.
Rent a house.
54 million.
Rent.
I can't even shoot it.
For a while.
I think Lolo, I'm aligned with Lolo. 54
I can't
million.
even shoot
Give
a
me
proper
less than
movie.
6 months, it's gone. If I'm thinking about things I need to do for my family and all that.
Yeah.
But I also want us to take a note. We're looking at it from the immigrant side. Let's not forget to look at it from Sweden's side. Yeah. So Sweden, like many other European countries right now, they're having a crisis of nationalism. And they're having there's a rise of anti-immigrant sentiment that is rising in some of these countries. And so that's one of the reasons that they are, of course, offering this. This would not have been offered before. Now they have an anti-immigrant party that has made it into office, voted for by people. Yeah. So I think immigrants need to take note of the fact, particularly in Europe, there's a wave of anti-immigrant sentiment that is going to lead to more anti-immigrant laws and sort of policies as well. People need to start thinking about, how do I leave when things become too tight? Where do I go?
Exactly. No, so my question is, what is the motive behind offering money when you can just...
Incentivizing immigrants to leave. The ones that are legal, if you're there legally, if you're not there legally, they will crack down on you and deport you. But if you're there legally, okay, you've done what you've come, please be going.
Yeah, if you're there legally,
people are opening the door and telling us to leave.
Yeah,
everybody knows that there's this anti...
What do you blame them? Sometimes I feel ashamed when you see Nigerians and the way they comport themselves when they're out of the country. Maybe because we don't have a lot of things that hold us down here, like maybe proper laws that you have to follow stricto sensu. So when they go abroad, they still take the bad behavior of Nigeria over there. I hear in London, one of my sisters was telling me that Nigerians are rushing to enter buses that are going to come every 15 minutes. And they are pushing and shoving the Igbo people and like, who are these people?
So, but it's not always, again, it's not always about comporting. One thing about it is, for me, it always just sends a message of you can never be a part of them. Because eventually, even when you say that, oh, you're not a citizen, you're this, you're that, something will just come up and they'll be like, oh, I'll be going to your house. I remember there was a post one time of a girl that was lamenting. Her father was a citizen or something of a country, and all of a sudden they told him that he had to go back to his country. Yeah. So it feels like we can never just be a part of them. You just always keep looking over your shoulder.
West.
All right, guys.
Sorry, before we go, Catherine. Remember, there's a lot of them are struggling. Immigrants are not integrating well. And while we can talk about Nigerians, we're talking Pakistanis. There are a lot of immigrants from Muslim countries that are struggling. They're arresting them for rape, sexual assault. So it is adding to the anti-migrant sentiment that many of these countries are picking up, because there's also a decided lack of intention on many immigrants' part to actually try to immigrate. This is a wider conversation. We can laugh about the money, but it's a wider conversation.
It's a wider conversation, and we will have that conversation on the Jasiri table one way or another, because it's a conversation that we actually have been talking about, and the sentiment has been brewing. All right, so guys, I know I started by saying mouth the heavy me. There is one boiling hot topic I want to give to you guys. But now that I'm thinking about it, I want to hear our guest take on it when we come back from this break. So it's Hot Topic Special. We are coming back.
That background sound is Catherine. Welcome back to the show. Now, this week we have delivered premium conversation here on Jasiri. And not only that, we've also brought experts who have broken the issues we've discussed down in some insightful conversations. Now, Tolu did miss Olabode Daramola's discussion on suicide prevention, but I know she was watching online and monitoring, not just watching, she was monitoring. But on Thursday, Dr. Abiola Akiode Afolabi took us through the VAP Act that we must protect at all costs. Wednesday, Chioma taught a class on femicide. We didn't even know when our showtime got exhausted, trust me. And on Tuesday, we had the head of Tracker, Ayomide Oladipo, addressing the wonder that is the 2024 budget. All I can say is that it is well. And then on Monday, Moji did set the roof of the National Assembly on fire. See, that is one thing I love about this show. There's fire everywhere. There's pepper everywhere. And the fearless conversations, of course, and the authenticity of our guests, and the boldness as well that we all have to call things as it is, because we are fearless.
All right, so every conversation has been back-to-back hits, speaking of which, the DNA conversation with Robin last Friday. My goodness, that is still burning up Instagram till now. I still wake up to notifications on my phone. I just hope and pray that our special guest,
which we have unveiled
in studio, which we have unveiled, now understands what he signed up for, because, hey, it's too late. He's already with us. Here is our, let's formally introduce you to our Hot Topic guest.
And of course, a round of applause for the one you have said, but now we will put a name to him, Anthony Monjaro!
Oh my gosh! You wanna be talking this sweet guys. It's okay. Good to be here, girls. Good to be here.
Yeah. I know you're a celebrity and you're used to the attention, but how does it feel being amongst these beautiful, pretty ladies?
Premium prize.
Premium
Prize, actually.
You guys are intimidating me. When is your first start? I said, what are you saying? Then you're going to follow. You go. I will try and keep up.
Okay. No. We know you're up to the task.
Yes.
But you know you're Nigerian like us, so please.
I'm a Nigerian, yes.
Give me
Spoke
your hand.
Nigerian English.
Go ahead, Nigerian.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
No. How are you?
We thank God. Don't worry, I will see you later.
We thank God.
These Nigerian men are always very generous.
They are
Everywhere in the
expecting-
world.
Wait,
Should we be expecting a lot
Of
after
course,
this
yeah.
show?
Why not?
Even in this economy.
Exactly.
You are fine, no?
Catherine, thank you. I never knew that.
When you get money, you find.
Friday we come with such huge
No,
announcements.
I'm saying from Nigerians. I'm not saying from me. I'm a struggling, entrepreneur.
Oh, like GoFundMe.
Okay. I'm not sure we believe that, but we'll let it slide. Let's see.
So now that we're done with all the pleasantries, let's get into hot topics, because my God, that our topics are hot today. I hope you are ready. So we kickstart with Akwa Ibom State Governor, Pastor Umoeno. I don't pass it under. All right, so he has gifted youth in the state 310 million naira cash for their massive boycott of the hashtag End Bad Governance protest. Yes, you heard me right. The governor gifted, in fact, dashed the youth in the state 310 million naira cash for boycotting the hashtag End Bad Governance protest. Now, during a meeting when he was speaking with the youth, he said that this huge gesture was to keep his promise to reward the youth for shunning the nationwide hardship protest, which held from the 1st of August till the 10th across the country. And he announced a 10 million naira reward for youth in each of the 31 local government areas of the state for obeying his appeal against the protest.
Hey, and he said, and I would quote it, the leadership of the youth in each of the local governments will receive the money and spread it across the party lines. We can't leave you the way we met you. We are inspired that you listen to our plea, not to join the protest, not because we don't believe in the protest, but it's that you don't feel what is going on in the country. We feel it. We know there are always people that will hijack the protest, the peaceful protest, to vent anger on government facilities. Our leaders have worked so hard in the last 37 years of the creation of the state to put the infrastructure in place. And 1 minute of anger can destroy all the hard work. We are not ashamed, though. You did well. And we are here to give you a pat on the back. Though you didn't protest, and we heard you loud and clear. We know the issues that you are angry about.
Wow.
Wow. Before we
In his
continue,
words.
there's more, but before we continue, Anthony, 310 million to give youth so that they did, because you want to appreciate them for not protesting.
You know the word hijack?
Yes.
It's not hijacking it by actually giving
Yep.
them money
Yep.
to actually stop them from doing. There's a reason why there was this protest and everything.
Of course.
But nobody seems to have done anything about it.
Yeah.
It's come, it's gone. We're still in the same place.
Absolutely.
So sometimes I wonder, why do we protest? Why do people risk their lives? And at the end of the day, nothing happens.
Yeah.
You know, you keep going on about the country. We should sacrifice, sacrifice, sacrifice. And we're not seeing sacrifice from the people who are asking us to sacrifice. Yeah. You know, so it's ridiculous. And then he has the money, or the state has the money, so they will do that to try and people are hungry. And if you're hungry,
But can't the money be more judiciously used? 310 million.
if you're smart about it, yes, you can. And then that will probably actually put the youths in check and say, okay, fine, he's doing something about it. They're listening to our plea. But if you're throwing the money around and say, don't protest, I will give you this. So what is he giving them money for?
For not protesting.
Just for not opposing or not fighting against.
Meanwhile, let's not forget that if you calculate all the youths there, let's say not less than 7,000 people will get that money.
Of
So
course,
that's
exactly.
like 30K. It's not even in millions.
Not
That's
a
30K per
It's not a
youth
bag of
for
rice.
7,000.
Not even a bag of rice.
Exactly.
So let me add to
There's
what
also
else he's
10 million
doing.
there.
Yes, there's 10 million. So
For
he's also now
specific
saying
people,
for
For
each
youth,
local government.
each local
But he's also now saying that the state is going to give monthly payments for undergraduates and postgraduates. Undergraduates and postgraduate students will receive 20,000 and 30,000 naira monthly, while medical, law, engineering, and agricultural undergraduate students will then receive 30,000 naira. This is bursary, is it not? That's basically bursary.
Yeah.
So really, at the end of the day, what is he? It feels you're paying them to silence
quiet.
them.
I don't understand why they don't, you know, there's so much you can do.
Yes.
For instance, technology. You have India. China was in the place where they're as bad as Nigeria. But all of a sudden, they're what, 2 billion people?
Yeah.
And yet China is more of leading the world at the moment. Why can't we invest in probably creating something as simple as a phone?
You were in Asia recently. And
I
you
was
saw
I in Asia?
My brother.
Yeah, I was in Hong Kong, yes, sorry.
It's not that, yeah.
Yes, I was in Hong Kong.
So you can imagine how far they've grown in
Yes,
leaps and bounds. And you
yes,
see a governor who's
yes.
talking about 310 million here, 10 million for youth here, and disbursing money like
That's
bursary.
like what? Feeding the fish and not actually teaching man to go
Teaching how
and
to
fish.
fish.
Teaching them out. And I'm thinking at it from this point of view. You know, there are a lot of youths that are not empowered. They have no job, nothing.
Exactly,
And you
empower
just hand them a stipend or a stipend. Is it not that you are solidifying this area boy or Agberu mentality?
Or begging mentality.
Begging
Yeah.
mentality, where you make their inadequacies. You are, I'm looking for that word, like militancy. It's as if you're encouraging them, you're encouraging the youth of the state to just be
Lay
complacent.
back and yeah.
So that means if they're complacent for this, when it comes to real important things, they will be complacent too.
Exactly, when you bring more money.
Because imagine if there's a fire in the government house and everybody just says, okay, I'm sure the fire will quench itself.
So when Blessings was saying it's 30K, let's even say it goes up to 50K. What does
How
it
will
really
you do? Exactly.
Look at this.
And how often can you do that?
Exactly.
For how long
Yeah.
can you do
how
it?
long? Undergraduate and postgraduate students, you're penning down 20K and 30K for them monthly. What can that do?
It can't even transport them.
What the minimum wage now is 70K?
Yes.
That they still have
That's the public sector.
Yes.
The private sector, who pays 70K?
That
They're
was the question.
still going for about 50K, maybe 40, 30K.
That was the part of the conversation we had on this table when Tolu was saying, listen, there's a ripple effect on this thing. Absolutely. You say minimum wage is 70K, it will affect even the private sector.
Exactly.
Are you now going to be paying your nanny like maybe 200K just because? So
because you can't pay your gate man 70K and pay your cook the same 70K.
Yes.
It's got to go up, so it becomes 100K. And then how much do you earn?
to be able
so
to
by the time you end, you have about 3 staff, and they're paying probably about maybe 300,000. How much do you earn?
But
You got your own school fee, your children's school fees, you've got your house rent, you've got other things to pay. By the time you add it all up in a year, you're probably looking at spending close to about what, 10 million?
You know, this weaponizing of poverty and impoverished thinking, because look at the youth of the state now. How do you want them to become aspirational for themselves? To be able to think outside the box, that they want to create something for themselves. If they can be given something as small as this and everybody applauds it as something good, are they not going to make the next election something that we have been trying to run away from, where area boys and touts would take over everywhere and there will be nobody to stop them because they know that they would hand them little things.
But you see how they said we'll hand out 300 and what million.
Million.
So you now see it sounds big.
But when
Until
it
you
comes
now
down to
look at the nitty-gritty of it. How many people can you actually? And I'm sure it's not even up to that amount. It's probably lower than that because you have everybody come out.
Exactly.
And when everybody comes out, when you break that down, it doesn't come to anything.
And some will get more than
And some people will come
Some will even get more than that.
Find a way to actually take a lump sum and say, I will sort out these people and give them as probably 5,000, 10,000.
Yes.
I think it's even more scary that now they're bribing in public, in the open,
It's
and
not
giving it a different terminology.
That's the norm now. That's
Because,
what we've been
I mean,
doing
there
now.
was a time that it was happening, especially during elections, like Lolo said, but you see people even saying, no, keep the cameras away, keep the press away. But now you are inviting the press to announce that you're giving so and so because they didn't do this and do that.
Someone will say we're taking Panadol for the headache of Akwa Ibom youth, that they're happy with it, so what's our own? So
Because it's a ripple effect. Exactly. It will go around. Because what about the states that can't afford it?
Plenty
Then what
of
happens?
them.
And we're not even condoning the fact that it's even giving that amount to these people because you shouldn't be. Rather put that money into something that will actually empower them.
Infrastructure.
And that way you can actually have people actually growing and creating work for other people as well.
All right, so before the break, I want us to get into the next topic because we have this, Afrobeats. Are you an Afrobeats fan?
I love that.
Please, who's your favorite artist? Or you don't want to cause fights?
I don't mind saying, none of them.
Okay, who's your favorite?
I'll probably say Wizkid.
Okay, that's fine. Wizkid FC in the
set
house.
our Weezy.
Okay, so how did you feel when you found out that Tyler won Best Afrobeats Music Video Award?
Who's Tyler?
Hey, we've entered it. All right.
I don't know.
Okay, wait. We will give you the information.
Okay.
So before we go on the break, let's quickly get into this story because South Africa's Tyler won Best...
Oh, okay, yeah. Sorry, okay. I'm sorry.
Tyler was thinking of Tyler
I was
Nigeria.
thinking of Tyler Perry, but...
I was singing of the song to you.
She wanted to do...
yeah. Okay, I might know the song. Bang, 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 bang. Yes, I know that.
All right, so right before the break,
Yeah.
Tyler won the Best Afrobeats Music Video Award for her song Water at the VMAs recently. She beat Burna Boy, Iron and Thames. Congratulations to her. But it was her comments in her
I was going to say that. You
speech.
didn't hear what you said.
So I want us to play the video because we need to make sure we have time for this conversation.
Such a pretty
So
little girl.
let's hear what Tyler said in her speech that has caused controversy. Let's go on a break. You want it? Because Anthony is ready for this story, but we need to go on a break so we don't interrupt him. We'll be right back on Just So You Stay with us.
Wow.
The conversation is already starting on the table. Right before we break, we brought you the comments that South Africa's Tyler made as she won the Best Afrobeats music video at the VMAs that happened this week. But her comment has started some controversy. Anthony, before you comment, let's get one of the people who's not very happy with what Tyler said on stage. Let me get that up right now because it's been a lot of controversy. at I am DOT, the Dotun, I know him. A few selfish ones renamed an established genre to satisfy their paymasters. Yet again, you see why it's best to let the originators be allowed to educate the world. Tyler winning Best Afrobeat Song is a miss in my opinion, but how do you say it isn't when a few added S to it? So I think he's also talking about the debates between Afrobeats versus Afrobeats. The genre started by Femi Anikulapo Kuti.
Yes.
Of blessed memory versus Afrobeats. Then somebody else said, everyone saw this issue coming and talked about the dangers of this generic labeling of African music, but giving Water an Afrobeats award is giving me a headache. This is not Tyler's fault at all, though, and she kept it very cute and respectful, considering. Very demure. Anthony, what do you think? Truly.
I see. She's right. They've grouped everything into one category, and she happens to be in a category that really is not Afrobeat. You know, but at the end of the day, she's actually recognized the people who are actually in Afrobeat. And until they decide, the VMAs decide to actually break it into, you know, different categories, you can't blame her. I mean, are you going to give her an award and she say, no, I can't take it because it's not Afrobeat? It's, what's the other Afro piano?
But she could be demure and say that.
No, but I think she was demure. I actually think she was very
I thought she was very, very respectful and very, very considerate of the fact that she mentioned her peers or people who she feels are in the category that they've actually
You know what I think our problem is? We're just
award.
hating. Because some time ago, Thames won Best Inspirational and Gospel Artist. Nobody in Nigeria opposed that because it was Thames.
But African Americans had an issue with it.
Yeah, but Nigerians did not have an issue with it.
There will be someone that had an issue.
To be honest, Thames did not even have the initiative that Tyler had to do what she did, because Tyler specifically said she represents Amapiano. So it's a way of saying, look, you might think that African music is the same, but we have different styles. And even though Amapiano is not a part of your category now, it's something you should consider, because what I do is Amapiano. So I won't be surprised in the next 2 years when you see Amapiano category. She started it. So if Thames had done, I'm not saying that she should have, but if she had done something like what?
She started it?
No, like I'm saying,
really
if it comes out as Amapiano category, you would know that it has something to do with what she said. So if Thames had also come and said, oh, you know what, this is not, what I do is not gospel, you might say inspirational, so maybe try separating it.
You see, my problem is that the organizers, the VMA organizers, what were they thinking? If you're saying you're organizing an award to recognize excellence in music in Africa, my dear brothers and sisters, do your homework. It is unforgivable. You're taking a piece, you're stabbing yourself in the tummy, the VMAs that is, because you're not coming correct with your award. You might mean good, you might mean well, but for let me say Nigerians see, for a small child to come out and educate you about music, differentiating the genres.
So, but my question is,
you know, another thing is, most of these people, you know, before, we were not nominated in some of these international categories before. So now, to me, I feel as if, oh, they're handing a piece of carrot to us in Africa. So that means, okay, what's there? Afrobeats, all right, we recognize that, and they just lump everybody. Just as Catherine said, it's time they put people that really know in their team. If you're going to be giving African awards, then let Africans be part of the selection process.
Well, I don't
so
blame
that you
them.
can be educated properly.
I don't blame them, because I remember there was a time that people were coming after Burna Boy for always correcting people. You're nominating me in this category. No, this is what I am. And then people are like, you own too much. I'm sure that the nominees knew themselves. Why did they not raise eyebrows? Why did they not say anything online? They waited for Tyler to win, and then they're now like, no, Afrobeat is not Amapiano.
In a category with Burna Boy, Arya Star and Thames, and the category named Afrobeat.
Yeah, it makes sense.
You really would have thought it would probably have been one of them.
Yeah.
Anthony, you wanted to say something when Blessings was saying that she doesn't even blame them at all.
Yes.
I don't even forget.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
You're a special guest.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, see, if they give you something, you say, take this thing. I don't think you're thinking of the fact that she even went and corrected them and said this is the first thing that comes to your mind that you won.
Yes.
Maybe it might come an afterthought, say yes, okay, I got this, and how come I got this for? But you won in front of the whole world. That's your bragging rights, you know. But I think the
organizers
should be on. Yeah, the only should be on the organizers who actually didn't do the research. Come on. I'd rather you put them in categories of other people or categories that already exist. then you can create one new one and lump everything as
What
one.
about a
And
Just like when they used to just say
music
world
category?
music.
Yes, world music.
World music.
What about
Yeah.
a generic category like that?
What's that?
if you say world music, it even makes more sense that you say Afrobeat and you give it to somebody else who's actually not singing the Afrobeat that you're saying
But
that
Tony,
you're
but do you
singing.
think that she should have not rejected, but should have declined?
Decline words.
And a word?
Are you
just
serious?
don't buy
You
this
call me for an
question.
Oscar and say best in indigenous.
But I could
And I
have
haven't
said,
done
guys,
I haven't done a
appreciate
film
this,
that
but
is
I
If they give me Nobel laureate, I will collect
I will
it.
take it.
Even if I'm
And then
not
afterwards, I'll say, I will not wait for other people's opinion. I'll say, okay, you're right.
Yeah,
but
but
I
I've
don't
won.
collect them.
Exactly.
I will collect the award and say, listen, I for this award,
You're
but
crying for
I
my
cannot,
dead cold hands.
I cannot accept it because
You cannot
my genre.
Are you Marlon Brando?
All right, so now we want to put Anthony in the hot seat because we're going to
Hey.
Nollywood.
No.
Are you ready?
Yes, let's go.
All right, let's go
Let's
there.
go.
So there's been a renewed discussion in Nollywood about nudity in the film industry. Is it a form of art or simply a marketing strategy? Now, this debate strikes at the core of creative freedom, censorship, and even the impact of film on societal norms. Is nudity actually essential to telling some of the stories we've been told? So while some people are comfortable with it, we've heard from people like Ireti Dole that she says nudity must serve the film. It must serve the story. And she has very strict boundaries, refusing to do nude scenes that are purely for sensationalism or even clickbait. Then you have somebody like Ken Debankole who said she's open to nudity, but only when it's truly needed for the narrative. She believes that sometimes less is more and that scenes don't always require nudity or excessive intimacy to tell a really good story.
Now, here's my take. You see, nudity at the end of the day, it sells. It sells a film. So the director or the filmmaker or the producer, the person who's selling the film will tell you that, and we want a bit of that because it will sell the film. But really and truly, I don't see what the necessity is if it's going to be done very, very shabbily and very, very disgustingly. If it, like Ireti Dole said, if it's done creatively where it serves the story, then by all means, you can do it and in a classy way that people will actually appreciate it. But when you start putting it there and then, there are even things you even put there that doesn't even make sense. But then again, as a creative, you...
Would you do a nude scene?
Huh? You say?
Hell no. Even if it's the most creative
She's shocked, though.
Victor.
She's shocked that you said no.
You say?
Okay, not true. No, but even at that, you see, that's another thing. That's another thing. You have to look at it from the point of view of the character itself. Okay, yes. Hi, sorry, I shoot myself for a leg. Yes.
His body?
Yeah.
We
No,
would
but-
love to
but-
see him.
A child drop
No,
scene.
but I would say hell no to the fact that if you bring it, even if it's in the script and I see it, and then we come on set and you say, we'll discuss it.
Yes.
And if you want to waste time and say you want to do it, and we keep on wasting time for like 2-3 days, you find out that, true, this guy makes sense.
Yes.
See,
And you said something interesting, tastefully. If
Yes.
it's done, you've done some scenes that
determines
were not
taste?
semi-nude, not nude, like 100% nude, but they were done tastefully.
Who
And
determines taste?
it's you as the artist. You're the one, you got to look at it from the point of view, does this make you shine? Or does you tell a story that actually people will look at it and then understand? Because when you watch a film, you become engrossed in it.
Yeah.
And you get lost in the reality and almost begin to feel what's going on.
Yes.
You get disconnected when it becomes ridiculous. You know? And coming back to me again, my nudity, it's not nude.
What
It was-
what is it?
It wasn't nude. I won't go nude.
No, it's not. That's why I say it wasn't nude. What
Yes.
did you call
But
it?
she didn't say anything. Eh?
No, she didn't say, but my head told me what she said. So it doesn't matter anymore. No,
you've done that, you're
okay, wait, hang on.
thinking.
My hell no is that, will you go nude? The best I can do will be my shirts. My boxers has got to be on. Would you see my backside bare? Hell no.
No, but we saw your hair, your pelvis.
You
That
didn't
time
see
you used your
pel-
hand like this.
There's no, where was that? Which one was that?
Offended.
There was none like that.
Victor,
Only Catherine knows what she sees.
And now she knows
was
you.
season two.
Episode
This
1.
was like this, like this.
Was it?
Peace. I'm Victor like this.
Nah, lie.
It's true.
I don't believe
I need
that.
to put the other Nollywood ladies on the table on this. Catherine,
Kathy,
would
I
you
don't know
go
what you
nude?
saw, but that is not. I don't think what you saw is what was there.
You say?
And then I'll go and watch it. I'll go and watch
Because
the
that's
whole season
when the market.
Wow.
took off.
My brother, give me a hand.
And they see body.
So,
What am I taking you? See me.
okay, focus. Catherine, would you go nude?
Mm-mm.
My
Catherine.
sister,
Catherine.
Yes.
Catherine.
Yes.
You want to call the film?
Which one? There's no Monjaro.
Before you
there's no
stuttering,
you wait.
I'm the one who lost my voice. Why are you stuttering? Lola, would you go nude?
Lola, stop that.
But the thing is,
No, but the thing is,
Lola.
no,
Okay.
never.
Maybe her
But
nose
the
is
thing
genuine.
is, you know, to tell a proper story, sometimes in Africa, I want to say that we're hypocrites. There's so many things we take off Nollywood, off Hollywood, off Bollywood, off other woods.
But
and when
Bollywood
it
will
comes
not
to
go
Nigeria, maybe
Bollywood never
because...
go, they won't compromise, exactly.
Yeah, they won't compromise some things, yes, I know, culturally. But you know, in Africa, they love our cultural representation that actually connotes nudity. Especially, if it's just like a South African telling me their maiden festival is not done with their women's
With breasts out.
breasts outside. That is how their culture is as Africans. But because they sell it to us so distastefully, imagine there are some scenes you see that the nudity in this scene is totally unnecessary.
Yeah.
Look at that Anikulakpo scene where Bimba Demoye and
That guy.
Kule
Remi,
Remi
okay.
was in. Oh, it was a night scene.
Yeah.
It was a rape scene. And there was nothing, and it wasn't too much.
You
It
don't
was
have
just
to make it
adequate.
hardcore.
Yeah.
Because then again you stop people from watching it.
Yeah.
You stop people from really appreciating
Yeah.
it. It can be done. Sometimes see you could do a rape scene where you can hear what's going on, but you're not seeing what's going on. Your brain already knows what's going on. So why do you have to go and bring, and because the people who've actually experienced this thing before, why would you bring them into that same space again?
Yeah.
You don't need that. And you don't need to give certain people ideas or and give them things that will make them feel that this is something I want to
Yeah.
experience.
But you know that I remember many years ago when sex scenes were just two legs showing. Do you remember?
That's not tastefully done as well.
Yes, I was like, that
In
year.
regards to this, I recently found out in Hollywood, if you're doing any scene that requires sexual intimacy, even replaying a rape scene or anything like sex, there are instructors and there are guides who make sure that things are okay for both actors,
Yes.
that it's done in a way that can't trigger somebody again. So we're not there yet, but I think the considerations have to be there. Before we move to the next story, let me quickly ask you, how responsible do you think Nollywood needs to be in terms of influencing societal norms? I ask this because we see so many things play out in Nollywood, domestic violence. Hardly do we actually see a perpetrator who is in a movie be put in jail. What happens a lot of the times? Family comes in and bends. We see there's usually punishment for people who do ritual killings and kidnapping. But in terms of really pushing the narrative of the kind of society we want, can we blame Nollywood in any way?
It's so scattered. We don't have more of a case where we come together and try and create something. And I think it's on the government to actually, because it's not, we don't just have oil.
Yeah.
We have arts as well. Music is doing very well. The film industry could do very, very well. Look at National Theatre. Yes. What's stopping them from changing National Theatre into a studio? You could have like 500 productions going on at the same time in that place. And it will generate so much money.
See Tolu doing this.
I've said it. I've been shouting this for I don't know.
And by the time you have that
Atmosphere, that environment.
You have that in that space. You will go to you find another space, do the same thing because it's making so much money. But people don't seem to do that. We need to have something that brings them together to say, okay, fine, this kind of stories. America at one point, I think during Roosevelt's time, where they said the narrative that they're putting out there is not healthy for the people. Yeah. We need to put something more positive out there. That's what the film industry does for people in Nigeria here. Yeah. If you keep promoting violence, rape, and dysfunctional families, I mean, that's what you're going to get in the society itself.
Yeah.
He's not lying because...
By God's grace, I'm starting my own production company. When I start, I will try and at least put out more positive and more, And I think people who are actually starting out as well, actors who are actually doing that now, they should do that as well. Yeah. You don't have to look at it from a money point of view where, okay, what I'm doing now, will it sell?
Let do it as CSR.
It will sell if you put your heart into it. Yes.
And I think with the new National Video and Census Board, what they're trying to do, I think they are on
See,
the
when
right.
you bring in censor board into it, censor board, their job is to actually censor it.
No,
Say
they
what.
said- no,
what
now
Now they
certificate
said
it
they
is.
are
removing
they are
censor.
No, but
removing
you can't-
censor.
you
that they
can't
are
tell
going to
people.
be-
Huh?
No, they said they're removing censorship. That they are going to be a.
Classification. or something.
Classification
They're
now.
removing censor from the name. We had the guy here on
So
the
that
show.
it
So
will be
that when classification, that means that you watch a film and you classify it, and that's it. You don't
Yes.
tell the person how to make their film.
They will give
No.
some feedback.
And there are some things you can no longer do.
Yes.
They said that if you're going to depict any scene
Ritual,
that has
things have to
rituals,
have a
you must
purpose
put
in the
a
film.
disclaimer
Yes.
Okay.
that we are not in support of this.
Yeah.
And I've seen it in so many.
Okay.
I didn't even,
Yes.
till
That's
something
good.
is amplified to you, you will not even notice.
you're not
I have watched a couple of films that I would see on the screen. We do not in any way support violence. And that is something I think they're on the right
That's
track
good.
for.
Because at the end of the day, art mirrors. They say art mirrors
Life.
Yes.
life
Art
itself.
is
So you
life.
have to somehow tell the story as true as possible, so people are aware as well. Yes, you don't want to perpetuate a lot of negativity and all, but those stories still got to be told. But as much as you're telling those stories, also tell positive stories and stories that actually encourage and inspire the youths and people of the country.
All right, so let's move on to our last story. Oh my God, how time flies. And because
Time don't fly
Anthony
like
is such a love, it's easy to just be caught up in all of that. So let's take a look at our last story before we leave the studio today. A pregnant woman got pregnant. Well,
A pregnant woman got pregnant.
A woman got pregnant while dating her now husband. He didn't do court wedding, and even though her parents spoke to him and she begged, he was adamant. So no court wedding, no white wedding. So only traditional marriage was done. She eventually stopped asking. Her father was angry and disappointed in him, but he didn't care. Because of this, the girl's father vowed to help her become a successful and independent woman with or without her husband. So after she gave birth, her father helped her secure a job with a multinational company. And then things began to improve for her. She was able to take care of herself and plan for the future. She never really forgave her husband, and so she has not put any of her assets in his name.
Now, furthermore, they have 3 kids, and the properties are in the kids' names. Guess what? Her company is transferring her to their branch in Texas and covering the cost of the whole family relocation. Husband's business is not doing so well, and he's willing to relocate with her. But there's no marriage certificates. Now he wants to legalize the marriage. And her father has threatened to disown her if she does that. The husband is going around saying she's a bad wife and she is not loyal. His family members have been calling her, trying to persuade her. Yada, yada, yada. This girl is loyal.
Anthony,
Yes.
man to man, if
Yes.
you were speaking to that husband, what would you say?
The husband should just put himself in one corner, accept the fact that he messed up, and then get whatever comes his way. And hopefully, she might forgive him. But see, the business and the children's name, you cannot ask for anything more than that. Come on, you're supposed to provide for your wife and your children. The wife should not be should not be the person in front of you or this thing.
You're supposed to marry her.
Yes.
What happened
Provide
to
for her, even if it's the
her?
basics. Provide for them. And
when
stop asking for what she has and say, come and marry me now that you have, what she has money. You're criminal.
That is relocating.
Yes.
I'm even
No,
wondering.
that's terrible.
You know what is so annoying to me is that did she impregnate herself? So are you punishing her for receiving your seeds that you put in her? How does that make sense?
At least he accepted the fact that it was his.
So I'm a little bit annoyed with her. They have 3 kids. You
Yeah.
got pregnant while you were dating. How did kids 2 and 3 happen without a marriage? Why did you not put your foot down? Okay, fine.
Maybe she
You're
wanted to
willing
have
to
her
claim.
own-
She
she
said
wanted
she
to
didn't
have
want to have the kids out of wedlock, but the man refused to marry you after the first
So she
one.
don't want to have her children out of the fact that if you want to have one man for all the
One
children.
man.
And
there's nothing wrong
so
with
we
that.
are here.
And I
Yeah.
think we should stop this thing about once you've done traditional marriage, you're married. Because that's another lie that we go about telling
they
each
did
other.
traditional marriage.
Yes.
Yes.
They're married now.
No, her
So
company
that's-
requires
it's not
certificates.
legal.
Doing all this visa processing.
Traditional is not legal.
No, it's legal in our country, but doing
Yes,
all this
legal
visa
common
processing
law.
and everything.
Yes.
Okay, that's why he wants to now come and do it.
Exactly.
Hi, my brother. Calm down.
I'm sure his mindset would be that since we've done traditional,
They
we're
were married,
Yeah,
yes.
but if they want it legalized, then he should allow it. And how dare he say she's not loyal? She's refusing what he's refusing.
She's complying to what he started.
So let me tell you, another part of the story is when they were all asking him to marry this woman, he says that he's an adult and he knows how to make his own choice.
Yeah.
So she told
You should stick to that
me
choice.
too, I'm an adult and I'm making my own choice.
Totally. Honestly, this would be so nice to leave him in Nigeria while we all relocate to
No,
Texas.
after all said and done. See, punish the guy, but at the end of the day, the kids will suffer. So
They miss their
carry him along. You know.
where-
If they're going to Texas, Abi,
Yes.
the laws in the West support the wife. So really and truly, although if the man decides say won't leave the woman, half of that property belongs to him.
No.
Don't marry him.
I mean,
marry.
this part about the kids suffering, I don't 100% buy that.
You're
because
talking about kids
what
suffering.
if-
I'm
what
talking
if he
about
had
the
died?
family
God forbid.
manipulating
Yes.
her, making her feel bad for
just-
not.
Where were they when he was refusing to marry
But it's
her?
okay. Let her
Were you
relocate to
there?
Texas,
No, but
and
see, eh,
she will come
see,
and
eh.
visit him in
See,
Nigeria.
you know,
Their marriage is still
no,
subsisting.
no.
She'll come every 3 months. But men do it, so why can't he be a Nigerian husband while she lives abroad?
But seriously, I think she should marry him. Why? Because at the end of the day, they're a unit now. And
But can she
regardless
trust him,
come on, there are 3
Anthony?
kids. There are 3 kids involved now. Whether she can trust him or not, she got to take a chance.
Let me tell you a story, a personal story. I know someone who was in this situation. Before they relocated, the husband had told her to quit the job that made it possible for them to relocate, to come and sit down with his family in Ibadan with no job. She pursued, they've all relocated. He has a permit to work. This man has refused to work, saying that all the jobs are below him. But she now saw a text message. He's been talking to his family, using money to build house, but refusing to give her any money to keep up the family. These things are this relocation jackpot conversation is very delicate.
Very tricky.
He sends money home to
Yes,
He has
to be
finished building his
house.
house, but he'll tell his wife when he comes back from doing Uber Eats that he didn't make any money.
So I want to say that if as a woman something happens that triggers all of this, let's say this for example, and you decide to forgive, please forgive knowing that it might backfire
Forgive and
on
protect
you.
yourself.
It might backfire on you because there's no guarantee that he's going to change.
You can't drive a car with your handbrakes up. You gotta go. And if it works out, you've got to know within yourself. You got to know if you could trust this person. If you can trust him, or you've lived with him for how long? You've got 3 children with him.
You don't gotta go nowhere.
No, you gotta go somewhere. Baby. If you don't gotta go, then you got.
Before we go, her father is threatening to disown her. She's been married to this guy. They have 3 kids. Now her father is also trying to put pressure on her to do something. Should daddy stay out of it?
Daddy's got to stay out of it. Daddy's got to stay out
If
of
you're
it.
picking,
No,
you
he's
gotta
saying
stay out
daddy
of
has
it.
No,
to
but
stay
you
out of
say
it.
he can advise her, but he can't say I will disown
Daddy
you.
should sit down somewhere.
No, you can't disown her because she made a choice for her family. See, there's a primary family, there's a secondary one. She's in the primary one. She should take care of her own family. When I was growing up as a kid, I only knew my father, my mother. I knew my grandparents, yes, but I loved my father, my mother, my siblings first. Now, when you come into that circle, that's where you've got to be. You can't be looking outside. All those men that will say, your mother is past memory.
Yeah.
She's still alive, take care of her, be with her, but at the end of the day, your primary circle is that one. So she's got to consider that.
So
like I said, you've got to know your man. You've got to
himself.
know who he is first before you decide if you want to do it or not. If he's not the kind of person, you know he's going to death, you know what he's capable of.
Yeah.
If anything, women know more than men. They know what men are capable of.
Yes.
You know,
They
so
just
when
so
they
denial.
put, yes,
Sniff it out.
you sniff it out.
Monjaro, give me 5. Now, man, you be a
Time
sweet
has
baby
gone now,
for that
you
matter.
see?
Baby.
A round of applause for Monjaro. For being such an amazing guest. As we draw the curtains close on this week on Jasiri, thank you, Monjaro, again for being a special guest. And to our outstanding viewers, to the production crew, the makeup artists, camera crew, thank you all. We wouldn't be so smooth without you guys. Enjoy your weekend. Stay tuned to News Central throughout. Au revoir lundi. Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Bye, bye, bye.
Bye, blessings.
She's so happy. Bye, blessings.
Bye.